October, ICS journeyed to Aklavik and WT and skidooed to Fish Hole in the Richardson Mountains, where Danny and Annie C. Gordon took 4 students from the Moose Cur Aklavik School and showed them the traditional hunting grounds and harvesting methods used for generations by the Inuvialuit as a school project. We hope you enjoy this program. I'm Debbie Gordon Ruben. Welcome to TAMAPTA.
The 4 students that went on the trip were Jimmy Douglas Mute, Peter Dean Zelanik, Frederick Paul, and Kevin Airy. They were able to go on this trip because of their involvement with the land and showed an interest in learning about the Fish Hole area. The trip would last about 4 days, so gas, groceries, and personal belongings were packed into the toboggans for the long haul up the Richardson Mountains to Fish Hole. With the sleds all loaded and lashed, we were off toward the foothills, which is approximately 12 miles from Aklavik. Stopping at the foothills, Danny explains the route we were going to take and some of the landmarks to look out for.
Most of you probably have traveled this, but there's 2 trails from starting from here, one going straight over toward Canoe Lake, which is over here. And if you turn right, you see that little hump over here, way in distance, with willows on the side? That you take that for heading if you're going to First Creek, because that's going to take you right down to the flat, and it takes you to First Creek. If you got no trail, you aim for that, you're going to get to First Creek, and that's going to Divide Lake on the other side. So that's the landmarks you're gonna have to learn how to use. So, they'll help you in your traveling. If you remember that landmark, you're going to get to First Creek, even if you got no trail. If you could see it, you're going to get there. Okay, we're going to continue. Divide Lake and then Cass Creek. We're going to be stopping here, and they're just going to explain this. Okay?
During late October, bull caribou are roaming the foothills, trying to find a herd of their own. This lone bull was probably injured during a sparring match with a bigger rival. Also, they are not suitable for eating during the rut. Arriving at a place called First Creek, all the equipment were checked and those that needed repairs were done at that time. One of the machine's mufflers was coming loose and a rope broke on one of the toboggans. So those were quickly taken care of, and then we were on our way. Divide Lake is another landmark to show we were on our right trail to our destination. On the far side of the lake, a small cabin was built by local hunters and trappers that might use it in time of need. Another one was built at Cache Creek. Quite a bit of damage was done to it by bears looking for something to eat. Hunters long ago would store part of their meat and fish here for pickup later on in the season. We go right past Slim Mountain, which is a very noticeable landmark. And not too far from there, we come to Little Fish River. From there, we're not too far from our destination. It's been about a 5-hour snowmobile ride, breaking trail in the deep powdery snow, but we finally reached Fish Hole Cabin. This will be our home for the next 4 days. Danny, Annie, Joseph, and the boys unlash and unload the gear and groceries from the sleds and were brought into the little log cabin. Wood has to be gathered and a fire made so the food will not freeze. Supper also has to be made, and this has been a long trip without eating. Everything sure tastes good after a long ride in the hills. After a good night's rest, everyone is eager to go looking for caribou. With the machines and toboggans ready, we head off into the hills again. Stopping a number of times at good vantage points, the hunters look around for caribou. At this time of the year, they are moving to winter feeding grounds further south. No caribou were shot during this trip because they had moved too far. With no caribou around, the hunters turned their attention to something more readily available. But there was one stumbling block in the way. We were waiting for word from McClavick to tell us if we could catch fish the old-fashioned way. Word came in the way of Jacob Archie, who told us that the Department of Fisheries and Oceans had opened the fish hole for a number of fish that could be taken from there. The old-fashioned way of catching Arctic char is by sweep netting. Sticks are tied at either end of a net, and rocks are tied to the bottom so that the fish cannot swim under the net. Wait, did this follow Joseph?
Yeah. Wait just a second, please. How?
Okay.
Okay, I'll hold this up.
I'll do the other side. You hold.
I didn't see how he did it. Okay.
Hey, all you gotta do is go like this.
This time it's not on enough time.
That's it.
It's not.
They want anything but them up.
Yeah. Now we should put a heavier weight on this one so it'll stay right down.
Oh, she'll stay down.
No, he's not. Weights are too small. You hang on to that, I look for a bigger.
Okay, take one side across. Okay.
The net is then stretched across the width of the river. Then it is dragged upstream by a deep spot in the river where the fish gather.
Oh, yeah. Don't get wet, stay on the land.
Okay, how you turn this out?
But if you guys just hold this, I can take some movies.
Okay. Do that.
Wait till the video.
Oh, look at that.
See that one got through? Oh.
Oh, I see lots of fish behind.
Well, you're supposed to hold your stick down and forward. The bottom forward.
Look at Uncle. Now what?
We'll be okay. We'll sweep downward after we're done this way.
Keep going. One red belly, I see. We won't get caught in that?
You go over. Whoa, 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 whoa. You're not going to go over. There's a willow right there. Where's my camera?
At the house.
Why? That's a red one?
No. Not too many. Big red.
After the char are taken off the net, the same thing is done again, only in the opposite direction.
So this is the shallow part? Shallow, and then over there? No.
Someplace over there, right? Yeah.
There, let go.
We repeat this over and over again until the number of fish we want to catch is done.
That's a little harder. One waste. Okay. This is the Inuvialuit. This is a Paulatuk.
I talked with Jacob Archie on what he and the boys were doing here at Fishhole.
We come all the way from Paulatuk to Fishhole and do sampling for fisheries.
And when you're taking the samples, what do you take out of the fish?
We take the head off and the guts and put them in a bag. And we take measuring. And we can do about 70 char.
He also mentioned what kinds of changes has happened since he used to come here as a young man.
The river is right all the way down. All the way up here used to be big eddy, right under there. And the river used to be all the way down onto this place. Now these days are river on this side, all the way up. Shortcut river like down.
How old were you about when you used to come down here?
Used to be about 18 years old.
And how long did it take? You used to go down by here by dog team. How long did it used to take?
Take about 3 days to come up here with dog team.
But you used to go through a different route.
Different route, yeah. By West Channel. By Tin House, you used to go up by Tin House and come up here.
Was the fish more plentiful in them days compared to today?
Yeah.
And bigger, or?
Bigger, yeah. Bigger fish. Now these days you get small fish. But there's lots, so
Yeah.
they're growing, you know. Yeah.
After the fish has been brought to the campsite, they are spread out on the snow to freeze.
Thanks, eh? It rips, eh?
This one's got a big hole in it.
When they are frozen, the ice and snow are scraped off and they are packed and ready for shipping back home. One day, when the weather was not too good, Danny and Joseph walked with the boys to the waterfall. Two of the boys climbed on the rocks to the second level. Danny told the boys that a lot has changed here since he was young. Early Sunday morning, Danny, Annie, Joseph, and the students packed the toboggans, topped off the machines, and they headed for home. Traveling back was a lot easier as the trail had already been broken, and the route was a lot more familiar to the boys, so they knew what to expect on the way back. After 4 days out at Fishhole, the boys were eager to get back home to their families, but all had a good and learning experience while they were out here with their chaperones.
For the last portion of our program, we talked with Paulatuk elder Nora Ruben. She shared with us her story of when she was growing up in the Paulatuk area.
I didn't really stay inside the house those days when I was young. I was mostly a tomboy outside. I never liked to stay inside. I suffer inside the house. I like cutting woods, getting ice, getting woods, pack woods. I like staying outdoors more than inside. But then when I got older, my mom said, you can't be outside all your life. You got to learn how to sew. So when I first started sewing, my sister Ivy learned me how to do. She really trained me how to do things like for prints, parkas, and things like that. But the main things I learned from my mom is how to scrape skins, tan them, how to wet skins, before you tan them, and then dry them up. And then when you have to put flour to get all that little thin skin off the skin so it turns like flannel or something.
Were there different skins that
different kinds.
Different tanning?
Yeah, different kind. Like siksik, we tan them. We don't use that ikun so much on them. We mainly use flour and wet it with soap and just rub it like this in your hand and just take the skins off. And then stretch it, wet it, and stretch it in cardboard papers ready to sew. And how to flush foxes, how to take the oil off from seal skin. Different things I learned. Ugiuk skin for bottoms. At that time they used to make sealskin muklaks. They always used the ugiuk skin. So we...
How would they go about tanning that?
They don't really tan them, but they take the hair off for the summer anyway. They take the hair off and they use the black side, not the inside, and they bite on them and chew them. And when it's you don't have to stretch it real hard. The thicker, the better, because it stays longer. Those days you don't go through rubber boots and hip waders. And they only use sealskin muklaks for the body and ugiuk for the body. But what I learned those days, it seems so much work to be done. When I look at it today, nothing is done today. You get outside tan, you get everything tan from outside. People don't do as much as people that did these things long ago. No more tanning of caribou skins. No more tanning seal skins. You tan everything. Every possible skin you get, you tan.
What would happen if you didn't do it right?
Oh, many times I did, but my mom always make us do it over, so that's the way I learned by my mistakes. My mom always tell me, I can't be lazy to do good things. If I'm lazy, I'll never learn how to do things. So I never ever meant to be too lazy. So I don't like doing things over is my first step. That's why I always try to do it the best I could. I know if I don't do things good, I know it by myself. And I get fussy after that. I don't want to do things, so I have to do things right away from start things.
Did you often make your sewing fancy or decorative?
Oh yeah. Well, what I saw when my mom used to sew, seal boots, seal muklaks, everything was just about too fancy. There's decoration of all kinds in sealskin, the tops. They make that white, they call utitcher that. They put outside in the winter, they rot the skin first and then stretch it outside. The whole spring they leave it outside and that skin turn really white. So that they call it chaksoktak. I don't know how you say it in English, sealskin. So they use those for trimming shoes at the top. Or they use it for the, when they make kiyak, they put it around the shoes, which makes things really look fancy.
Any other decorations that they might add on?
Oh yeah.
Animal skins, furs?
Caribou skins. It's thin when there's in the summer. When the belly part of that white belly part is just thin. Or the hide, some thin black, it's really dark hair. That's what they use for trimmings, to trim them parkies when they make outside parkie, caribou parkie, or siksik parkies.
Did they use a lot of wolverine?
A lot of wolverine, yeah. They use the head and all wolverine, I used to know. They use the little head there. They tan it and they make, most of the time my dad always have it around him, put some shells inside and carry it around. So many things that I see, the tail and all, everything is used. Old timers use everything.
What about whaling? Did they do a lot of whaling when you were young?
Not around here. They didn't do. I didn't see when I was young, as a kid anyway. But when I was going to school, I started seeing whales. When Billy Trasher was a captain and he got whale, I saw him cut it up. And that's the first time I saw a whale so close, I think. Right by the boat, just playing around. And boy, was it ever beautiful, though. Yes. We had a good look at it, and they took pictures of it.
Did they ever get a whale around here? Do you remember?
Not when I was, oh yeah, not when I was a kid, though. I was about 20-some years old when Dad got whale in fish camp. Not too long ago, when my dad was still alive anyway. 1940s or 50s, 52, 53 maybe. I'm so bad to forget the years, you know, I can't exactly tell.
Did you have to walk a lot when you were young, traveling?
Yeah, really. That's how come I punish myself today. I can't walk anymore. I suffer from trying to walk today. I used to walk in the summer, drive dog team in the summer. Did all, well, that's the only transportation we have is dog team. We don't have big, we have a little boat, but it's too small to put everything in. So we drive dogs.